Michigan State was sitting in a great spot for bowl eligibility, and then Indiana happened. Now they got to go on the road to Happy Valley to play one of the very best teams in the country right now. Where does this leave Sparty? Great time to subscribe to the channel. Big Ten content every single day. Always mash that like button to spread the word of Big Ten Ted to the masses. Man, Michigan State, after that game against Michigan, you beat Illinois, you beat Rutgers. There was a lot of momentum. There was a lot of positivity about this Spartans football program. And then you won every statistical category. You did everything statistically that you had to do to win a football game. And then you didn't. Look, right now, the weakness for Michigan State, and that was kind of the weakness in that game against Indiana. It was the weakness kind of in that game against Rutgers, despite coming out on top against the Scarlet Knights. It's that run defense. This is a run defense. They allowed 257 yards to Indiana. This was an Indiana team that only passed for 31. Right? Then you go back the week before, Kyle Monangai at Rutgers rushed for 167 yards. Look, these aren't great rushing attacks, and Michigan State is very porous right now. They're allowing a lot of big runs. And now is not the time to really shore up that run defense. Last game of the season, bowl eligibility on the line. You gotta face your rival Penn State for the land grant, sit it in a corner bunch of shelves trophy. Okay, that has one of the best running games right now in the Big Ten. They've got a tandem back there of true freshmen in Katron Allen and Nick Singleton. That, man, it's scary to think that those two guys have 2 more years, at the very least, 2 more years of eligibility after this year in State College, Pennsylvania. The Big Ten, you are on notice because, man, flip a coin and that's who's running for 100 yards that day. Whether it's Katron Allen, whether it's Nick Singleton, Penn State, ride that running game, baby. That has kind of what's gotten you a lot of success here later on in the season. Look, this running game, remember last year where that was kind of the weak point, offensive line, running game really wasn't great. And now this year, that's really become the cornerstone of their offense. And this is really the building blocks that they're going to build their program in the future, is they're going to build it off of the shoulders of Katron Allen and Nick Singleton. And in this game specifically, that's where they're going to win the football game, is via the running game. Look, you look at statistically and you kind of watch Sean Clifford these last couple of weeks. He's not doing a lot. And he doesn't have to do a lot. They're kind of taking the pressure off of Sean Clifford, running the football really well, very physical at the line of scrimmage. This was maybe the game plan. This was maybe the formula for Penn State all along with Sean Clifford at the quarterback position. Look, right now, Penn State is as good as it gets. They are one of the hottest teams in college football. Look, if you had a 12-team playoff this season, nobody would want to play Penn State. Penn State would be an extraordinarily tough draw for anybody, but that's not the case. Ever since those kind of losses to Michigan and Ohio State, nobody's talking about Penn State anymore, but they should be. Look, the defense has been improving a lot. We know, we've been talking about it all season long, what they have back there in that secondary. You know, with Joey Porter Jr., with Jair Brown, with Kalen King, with all of those guys. And you kind of look at the other side of the coin in this matchup. You look at Michigan State, Peyton Thorne, the last couple of weeks, he's been throwing the ball a little bit better. So that's going to be a very interesting matchup in this game. Can guys like a Daniel Barker, a Keon Coleman, Jaden Reed, can they separate? What's going to be the matchup? Are they going to get locked down against that secondary, or are they going to be able to throw the ball over the top? Also, this Michigan State run game has been getting better. That's why this loss to Indiana is so degrading right now, is because, man, this team was moving in the right direction. Jalen Berger was getting better. Jarek Broussard was getting better. These receivers were getting better. This whole Michigan State team was progressing, and there was a lot of positive attitude about this program after a lot of negative things early in the season. And then this Indiana game just brought it all back down. And now you got to try to go out and pull a huge upset against Penn State to try to get to bowl eligibility. It's going to be really tough. If I'm Penn State defensively, I know, okay, this Michigan State team, they can throw the ball around a little bit. They've been getting better in the running game right now. If I'm Penn State, I want to try to take away this passing game. I want to try to lock down. I know I've got really good talent back there in that secondary. And I want to prevent some of these big plays from happening. Hey, if Jalen Berger runs for 100, if Jalen Berger runs for 150, fine, so be it. I don't think Berger or Broussard or even Elijah Collins, all three of those guys, didn't they all rush for close to 100 yards against Indiana? That's what makes that result even more crazy. But I don't think we're going to have a repeat performance of that. I says, let's make Michigan State beat us with the run game. We want to try to lock down Peyton Thorne. We want to try to lock down and prevent some of these big plays over the top to Coleman, to Trey Mosley, to Reed, as I've kind of mentioned before. And I think that plays into Penn State's strengths as a defense in defending the pass and locking down. We know how good those defensive backs have been all season long. The Land-Grant Trophy is on the line. Penn State, look, you might not be in contention for the Big Ten East right now, but this is a really good bridge year, a really good transition year. Drew Allar has gotten some reps, very important reps, okay? And you're going to win 10 games. You might win 11 games this season. The future is really bright in Happy Valley. I want to hear your thoughts. Who do you think's winning this one? Is Michigan State going to pull the upset, or does Penn State coast to 10 wins? Leave your thoughts, score predictions in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. I'm Big Ten Ted, and we'll see you in the next one.